How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the West Ham United career mode. And before we do get into anything, I just want to thank you guys for the support on the first two episodes of this series. If we can try and get over 100 likes on this episode again, that would be greatly appreciated. But in this episode, we should hopefully be kicking off the Premier League season with the first game of the episode against Chelsea. That Chelsea game won't be for another month though, so we're just going to get stuck into some transfers in the meantime. Before we get into any of that though, we do have some player training here, and hopefully we can see some growth. And Ashley Fletcher does go up to a 67 from that training session, and I probably will be training him quite a lot this season. We have been going in for Stefanos Capino for quite a while, and unfortunately once again the transfer offer is unacceptable. But I'm going to go ahead and make one final offer, and this definitely is going to be my final offer this time. 5 million plus Raphael Spiegel, and we'll wait and see what Olympiacos say about this one. It looks like Dortmund want to try and buy Reece Oxford off of us, but we're just going to be rejecting all offers and disallowing future offers. He is going to be the future of our back line, and there's no way I'm going to be selling him. We do, however, have a transfer offer accepted for Alban Lafont, which is really good to see. £5.1 million plus Raphael Spiegel. A little bit of an overspend, but looking at this guy, he's only 17 years old, and he's certainly going to be a good goalkeeper for the future. So we'll go ahead and offer him this contract, and hopefully he does accept it. And straight away, we have a contract offer accepted from Alban Lafont. It seems like a bit of an overspend, but trust me, this guy is a good player with a lot of talent, and I believe in the future he could be our first choice goalkeeper. We do have a transfer offer though for Pedro Obiang from Atalanta. They've offered £6.5 million for the midfielder, but if we're going to be selling him, I'm going to want at least £10.5 million to sell him, otherwise he will be staying at the club. Atalanta are now not interested in Pedro Obiang, which is fair enough. If we get that amount of money for him though, I'm more than happy to sell him for 10.5. And we now have a transfer offer for Andy Carroll as well, and this one is going to be from Everton. They've offered £9.5 million, but similar to the Pedro Obiang deal, I'd only really be willing to sell him if we get double his valuation, otherwise he will be staying at the club with us. And once again, it's time for some more player training, and we'll have to wait and see if we see any players growing from this session, and unfortunately not really the best results from this one. And Everton are willing to go as high as £11 million for Andy Carroll, but again, I'm going to be standing my ground. If they really want to sign him, they're going to have to pay £14.5 million. We have a transfer offer as well for Jonathan Calleri from Stoke, and this guy is pretty trash in real life, so I wouldn't be against selling him as well. But like with the Andy Carroll deal, if they offer me a certain amount of money, I would be willing to part ways with Calleri. I'm going to be counter offering £16.5 million because I don't really want to let any players go on the cheap if I can help it. He's only just joined anyway, so I would rather keep him at the club, give him a chance, and then if he's not really working out, we can sell him in the next summer window. And Everton have surprisingly matched the £14.5 million valuation for Andy Carroll. I'm not really too sure how to feel about that one because he is a good option on the bench. He's a good target man. But for £14.5 million, if we wanted to get in a replacement, we could certainly do that with that money. So like I've done with the Andy Carroll deal, I'm just going to counter offer this one again. I'm actually going to bump it up to 17. If they're not willing to pay that amount, they can just go away and we'll keep him at the club. And there's confirmation there that Andy Carroll has left for Everton, which is a bit sad, I will be honest. I would have liked to have given him a go in the squad, but I really can't turn down that sort of money. That's over double his valuation. And I usually like to say if you sell a player for over double their valuation, it's good business on your part. And we've got Valencia coming in as well for Jonathan Calleri. And since there's high demand for him, I will counter offer this one 18 million. A transfer offer for Mark Noble from Lille. Well, we can forget about that one. We'll just reject all offers and disallow future offers. Valencia are offering me £15.5 million for Jonathan Calleri. That is a lot of money when you think about it, but again, I'm just going to counter offer this one once again because I really don't have any reason to sell him. I want to give him a chance in the squad, but if they offer me this money, that's just daylight robbery, really, because that's over double his valuation again. I would be very surprised if Valencia do match that offer, but we do have a game upcoming against Chelsea, and we will be playing this one. And this will be the lineup that we're going with for this game against Chelsea in the first game of the Premier League. I'm actually going to go ahead and put in Sam Bayram instead of Arbeloa, because Arbeloa is already going down in stats, and I think it only makes sense to build for the future by starting Bayram. But yeah, this is a pretty strong lineup going into this game. We've got Lacazette making his Premier League debut. I certainly feel like we were lacking some goal threat up front, but now that we've signed Lacazette and he's starting up front, I think he can be the man that provides us the goal threat and scores us the goals. And it's 2 debuts in this game, one for David Luiz, obviously transferring from PSG, and also for Lacazette for us. And looking at the Chelsea lineup, it's a pretty strong lineup going into this game. They've also got the same formation as I have, and they've got some really good players in that team. And Mikel's doing quite well to dance around a few players. It's Diego Costa passing it inside again, and it's a brilliant save there by Adrian, keeping out Mikel. It's now here to Ivanovic, getting the cross in. What a save by Adrian again. Really kept us in this game so far, and we've just been completely dominated in the opening stages. And that signals the end of the first half that we've been completely dominated in. We've barely had a shot on goal, and we've hardly had possession, to be honest, either. Chelsea have had 2 really good chances on goal, but it's been some great saves by Adrian that's kept us in the game. I think we need to change something around for the second half, though, because we really haven't threatened Chelsea's goal. I'm making a bit of a risk in this game by bringing on Simone Zaza. And Lanzini, unfortunately, will be the one that gets dropped. We'll be playing Payet on the left, Faguli on the right. I really want to see Zaza making impacts in this second half, but I'm not really too sure because we've been dominated, and we could be dominated again in the second half. On this right hand side now, we'll play this one inside, and again there's a bit of space here for Kiyase having a shot, and it's just over, but it's our first chance on goal. And I think changing formation was the right decision because that 4-3-3 formation is quite attacking. We just keep running into the space. We've got lots of options. Well, we don't really have any options now, but we can play it inside to Noble and maybe find Lacazette again having a shot. It's a really good effort, and it's over the bar. So we end up getting a 0-0 draw from our first game in the Premier League with Chelsea. And I have to say, we were probably quite lucky to come away with a 0-0 draw. We were dominated for a lot of the game. Lacazette had a few chances, but they were only really half chances. And Stoke aren't going to be going back in for Jonathan Calleri, so it looks like he will be staying at the club. Valencia, though, are willing to go as high as 16 million for Jonathan Calleri, which is pretty crazy. Once again, though, I've got a price for Jonathan Calleri, and if they want to be signing him, they're going to have to pay the big bucks. Wow, are you serious? They've actually gone ahead and accepted the 18 million for Jonathan Calleri. I mean, that is a little bit sad, but I did see a few comments on the last episode asking me to sell him. But 18 million pounds, that is ridiculous. They've just got completely mugged off there. I'm a bit disappointed because I would have liked to have used Calleri, but in real life, he really isn't that good, and in this game, I haven't been impressed with him so far. So to get 18 million for a player that probably won't be getting too much game time, not too shabby whatsoever in my opinion. This might seem like a bit of an unrealistic deal, but I'm going to try and go ahead and sign Daniel Sturridge. Having sold Andy Carroll and also in the process of selling Jonathan Calleri, I feel like we do now need to bring in another striker, and Daniel Sturridge was suggested in the last episode. He is going to be quite expensive though, so I'm going to have to offer 29 million to begin with and see if they do accept this one. He will be the only player that I'm going for the time being, because I do want you guys to leave some suggestions in the comments below as to strikers that I should be signing. But we do now have the second and final game of the episode, and this one is going to be up against Bournemouth in the Premier League. And the only change we're making from the previous game against Chelsea is putting Nordveit at right back. Apart from that, it's going to be the same side. I'm going to keep faith with the same players, and hopefully we can get our first win in the Premier League. Oh my god, look at that stadium. It looks brilliant. We're playing at the London Stadium for the first time in this series, and it's looking really good actually. I'm very impressed. And looking at the Bournemouth starting 11, they've got an interesting side going into this game. Of course, they've got Jack Wilshere in midfield. They've got Callum Wilson up front. They've got Max Gradle on the left. But hopefully we can get our first win of the Premier League season in this game. So now Kouyaté playing it forward for Lacazette. We have a bit of space here to play it into with Mark Noble having the shot. And it's blocked off in the end by Charlie Daniels. Play it inside. Here to Faguli. He's going to go for a shot as well. It's a really good effort and a great save there by Boric. I mean, we've had 2 shots and 2 on target, but we haven't really created as many chances as I would like. I'm going to switch things up to a 4-5-1 and see if that does make any difference for the second half. Somehow we have a corner at the start of this one, but we will whip it into the middle. I'm going to try and go for a bit more of a central corner, see if that works. And we do actually end up finding it. Wow, Ogbonna ends up hitting the outside of the post. Play this one here to Payet. And try and cut inside with this one. We've done really well. And we'll keep running because the defenders aren't doing well whatsoever. And we do end up scoring the first goal of the game. And finally we've scored that goal because it's taken a long time to get a real chance on goal. But once again, it is that man Payet cutting in from that left-hand side. Doing well to get through a few defenders. Really poor defending, but it's a great finish by Payet. We've just got to make sure that we don't concede now. Easier said than done, really, but we've done it so far for the whole of the game. Oh, and it's inside here to Wilshere, and Afobe has a shot. We need to clear it away, but it's back out to Afobe again. This is really poor defending, and it's just over the bar in the end, but I think that's going to be a corner. And there we have it. We do end up picking our first win up of the season against Bournemouth. It's only a narrow 1-0 victory thanks to that man Payet there, but I will take the 3 points every single day of the week. I'm still getting used to this game, which is probably why it took me so long to create a chance and score it. But I think we did deserve to win the game in the end. We had a few more chances than Bournemouth, a few more clear-cut ones. And before we end off the episode, we will have some player training as well, and hopefully we can see some growth. And we do end up seeing Gokantura go up to an 80 overall, which is very good to see. But this is where I will be ending off this episode of this career mode, and hopefully you have enjoyed. And if you have enjoyed this episode of this career mode, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have enjoyed this episode of this career mode, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We've gone ahead and sold a couple of our attacking players in this episode, and the question to you guys is, should we go ahead and sign Daniel Sturridge? He is a player that I'm currently going in for at the moment, and with the sale of Caleri going through, we'll have made 32 million from selling 2 players, and we can use that money to sign a really good quality striker. Or if you think we should sign someone else in a different position, do let me know in the comments below. Make sure you go ahead and cast your vote on the poll, which will be on screen right now in the top right corner, and you can go ahead and vote if you think we should be signing Sturridge or not. But apart from that, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there, and I'll see you next time for another video. Thanks for watching.